On this mission, the agents for the Water and Forestry Ministry have come forearmed. Their objective? To catch timber smugglers.
For this patrol, we've deployed 3 teams. There's also another land-based team which is making its way through the protected forest.
The commander is hoping to catch the illegal loggers red-handed. Tracking the loggers in such dense vegetation relies not just on sight, but sound. The teams are hoping to catch them in the act. A moored canoe. The woodcutters landed here. With water up to the waist, the commander and his teams follow the sound of the chainsaws as discreetly as possible. But it's not enough. The loggers spot us and manage to escape. They leave behind a chainsaw, petrol, and a section of forest centuries old, razed to the ground.
We're not discouraged by them getting away, not at all. Those men, now they know that we've got our eyes on this section of the forest.
Beyond their enthusiasm, the commander and his superiors recognize, reluctantly, their limited impact. Although planning to hire more agents, the BSSI only has around 40 to monitor more than 200 protected forests nationwide. Ivory Coast has experienced one of the highest rates of deforestation in the world. Illegal logging bears some of the responsibility, but the main culprit is the country's brown gold, cocoa. Growers have been destroying primary forests for decades to make room for their cocoa plantations. The country's forest cover has shrunk 90% since independence in 1960. Authorities turned a blind eye for decades, because in Ivory Coast, cocoa makes up 40% of all exports and provides 6 million jobs. But the government has decided to act. Dozens of cocoa farmers and their families live in this camp, tucked away in the middle of a protected forest.
Well, here's where I used to live. They chased us away. They came, took everything, set things on fire. They burnt everything.
His base was reduced to ashes, but the cocoa trees remain. Despite the ban, he's no choice but to come back and continue to harvest his cocoa.
Well, I agree with not destroying the forest, but they have to find us other work, something else to do. We've no choice. We have to go on working. We don't know what else to do.
If Ivory Coast is taking a harder stance now, it's because it's trying to avert a nightmare scenario. Within a few years, the country, which is the world's largest cocoa producer, may no longer be able to grow its most precious crop. The cause is the deforestation, which is disrupting the tropical ecosystem. Emmanuel Axel has been voted the best artisanal chocolatier in Ivory Coast. He's one of those sounding the alarm.
Cocoa farmers are facing climate change as well as deforestation. If we don't act now, the cocoa is going to disappear. They're waiting for the rainy season, and when it comes, there isn't any rain.
He's launched a special range of chocolate. For every bar sold, a seed will be planted.
If cocoa disappears, I'll have to give up. I wouldn't have a job anymore.
The state and chocolate-producing giants may have waited too long to act, but they're serious now. Today, ministers, manufacturers and celebrities gather for a symbolic act, planting 1 million trees across the country.
We're launching this campaign to ensure that the whole country is made aware of the situation. The government alone will not be able to do all the work. It's down to everyone. From the moment we're made aware of the need to preserve our heritage and not destroy it, we will become the guardians of the forests of Ivory Coast.
Initiatives are now cropping up nationwide. Farmers who have undergone training now plant other trees around the cocoa, a method known as agroforestry, combining forestry, agriculture, and cocoa. This farmer went organic 3 years ago.
If we cut down the other trees, then cocoa trees are hit by the sun and dry out. So it's better if we keep the trees to protect nature too.
He was persuaded to change his methods by REDD+, which tackles global greenhouse gas emissions and pays a premium on every kilo of cocoa grown through agroforestry.
It's a real success because of the premium that being organic adds to the price per kilo for cocoa. It's really encouraging.
Hundreds of other farmers were then persuaded and left the surrounding forest. But despite the new best practice, In 2018, the rate of deforestation was once again higher than the rate of reforestation in Ivory Coast. More than ever, cocoa is in danger.